Alrighty. We are live. Good evening, everybody. Real quickly here, I'm going to quickly do my invite, so give me 1 second, guys. Alright, so with that being said, we'll say hello to everybody who's here at this time. Hello Bell, hello Infinity, aka Wolf Bro, hello Jinjos, hello Kippy, hello Salty Dan, hello 11, hello Agent, hello Awesomando, hello Beast Boy, hello Billy, hello Black Knight Zero, hello Val, hello Chaotic Claw, hello Cyberfox, hello Eevee, hello Evil Heel, hello G Mario, hello Greenie, hello Kawaii Kayla, hello Majora, hello Matrix, hello Maxim684, hello Miles the X, hello Nick, hello Poco, hello Racer Guy, hello Rasher, hello Spencer, hello Sunrose, hello Zach, hello Tara, hello The Pingler, and hello Shion. How's everybody doing tonight? Aw, yeah. So we'll get some other music going on here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gaming Beatdown's 4-year anniversary stream. Aw, yeah. Oh my goodness. And before we begin, I just want to quickly shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays, who have won their series against the Rangers and are moving on for the first time since 1993. Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty hype, but that's no need to celebrate more about that, but we're here to celebrate for the channel and all that. It's been going strong for 4 straight years. As of today, this is, or I should say 4 years ago on this day, back in October 14th of 2011, is when I actually began my streaming here on Twitch TV. Originally known as just Andy's channel. Nothing very fancy. It wasn't until a few weeks later I came up with the name TGBD, or what you know it as, the Gaming Beatdown. Oh yeah. And since then, we've when I first started casting, I only had about I'd say maybe 20 people who followed my channel. And in my first year of casting, I made it not only to 100 but 500 followers. And then a few months later, I actually made it to 1,000. And then about a year passed, and then I made the 2K. And around the end of the freaking season of this season, we hit 3K. That is unbelievable. 3,000 followers. It's amazing. It doesn't feel like it's been this long since I've been casting here on Twitch TV. Oh, and I want to quickly shout out. You know that song that we were just playing, the techno-ish song, where I said last year at the last year's show that was the last time you'll ever hear it. Well, my first announcement, I just want to give this out of the way quickly, is that song's actually returning to the channel. It will always be played after the freaking intro plays. So, and as you may have saw, I got a bit of an update, but not too much, but a little update. But yeah, just want to go out and say that song will be returning to the channel after it being gone for an entire year, and I felt like it needed it. So welcome back that song. But yeah. But tonight, we're gonna talk about everything that went down. We have awards to showcase. We also have my top 10 list. We also have the main attraction, and that is the top 50 moments video. And we also have the trailer to game number 91 that will be played starting on Friday here on the channel. Oh my goodness, there's a lot to get through. But quickly to summarize this whole season, for playthrough wise, we began the whole year with the empty wallathon, and our first game of the night was, not the night of the year, I should say, was Hyrule Warriors, which was a very fun spin-off compared to the other Zelda games, which was really fun to play through. And then a very, very scary, spooky game known as The Evil Within, which I actually thought was a pretty fun game. The story made no sense, but it was a fun game. And it was definitely a surprise during the empty wallathon as well. It was a last-minute decision to add in. And then we replayed Bayonetta 1, which then led to the release of Bayonetta 2, and that, in my opinion, was probably my all-time favorite game that was from that empty wallathon. Following that, we played that game, known as Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric, and you all know how I feel about that game. Following that, we had a bit of a Ubisoft little thon. We had Assassin's Creed Rogue, which was the last generation Assassin's Creed game that came out. And then we went to the next gen of Assassin's Creed Unity, which that was a pretty buggy game. But then the next game after, we basically went back to games that were functioning fine. It was with Far Cry 4. And then we ended the Empty Wall-a-thon with Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which was a pretty fun game, I gotta say. And then we also played the second replay that you guys wanted, and that was Kingdom Hearts 2, which was fun to play through. Following that, we played Birth by Sleep for the first time on the channel, which was part of the 2.5 collectors, and that's what I actually played Kingdom Hearts 2 on, which was the final mix version, which was really fun to play through those games. And then following that, we went to space with Mario and friends in Super Mario Galaxy. Following that, we went to the ring to become the champion of the world with Punch-Out Wii, which was a pretty fun playthrough. And then the most anticipated playthrough of the season came with Mario Party 3. That was, my goodness, that was I guess you could say that was the key of the whole season. Yeah, I'm gonna get my jokes out of the way there. Following Mario Party 3, we actually went back to a good Sonic game with Sonic Heroes. Following Sonic Heroes, we had another playthrough that was probably one of the best of the season, and that was Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That game was really fun to go through. Following that, we ended an era with one of our superhero franchises here on the channel, and that was Batman. In the final installment of the Arkham series, Batman Arkham Knight, which I thought was a spectacular game to go through. Maybe not the best playthrough of the year, but it was definitely, it was a sad ending to that one, because, man, I love that series. It's so good. Following that, we then met some Colossuses and climbed them and destroyed them all and became some evil demon in Shadow of the Colossus. Then afterwards, we returned to the man known as Nathan Drake and went on adventures in Uncharted 2. And then we went back to space and we defeated the Covenant and the Flood in Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. And then we went back to one of the games in a franchise that actually has won a playthrough of the year on the channel, and that was Grand Theft Auto 4. And then we ended the year off with probably the biggest surprise of the entire season, and that was The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And I gotta say, I'm not sure if anyone's been following news, but that game is actually rumored to come onto the Wii U's eShop along with, sounds like, Twilight Princess, which is very interesting. And speaking of Zelda, if you have 3DSs and you haven't gotten emails and you're looking to find codes for I think it's the 3DS Zelda game that's coming out. There's a demo going out right now, and it's only available to people who have the download codes. I have 2 away to give away tonight, so stay tuned during the video. During the video, I will be giving away codes, so definitely stay tuned for that. So if you want a code and you're hoping to win one, I have 2 of them, so be around, and you can win one of those codes for your 3DS. So if you need one, yeah, this is the place to be. I have a couple to give away. But yeah, then that was basically every playthrough we did this season, and then for other things, basically Mario Kart 8 Mario Kart Sundays have been rolling very well. We introduced 2 new DLCs, and probably the only DLCs, but who knows, maybe they'll surprise us with another one, and they've been awesome. There's been moments from that. We also had a new logo to to Mario Kart Sundays, after Mario Kart Sundays' original logo lasted for about 2 years, so it was time for a bit of an update to it, and I think it looks better for the best. As for late night beatdowns, as you may know, it moved to Thursday nights now, and we actually brought in some new games to the channel, such as Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Yes, Smash Bros. Finally made its return to the channel after, well, Nintendo shut down the Brawl servers and whatnot. So it's great to have Smash Bros. Back on the channel. Always some fun times with that game. We also brought in Splatoon, which was a very probably one of this year's hits of the year. Another hit was definitely Rocket League. Holy smokes, that game is great too. We also brought in 100% OJ. We definitely have a lot of PC games that we can do now, since, as you may know, during the season I actually been able to upgrade my PC, and we've now been able to run the streams at 720p, which will allow me to actually do some PC gaming. Not all of it, but some games I can be able to do that, which is very, very awesome. And yeah, look forward to more stuff for this season for when it comes to multiplayer games and that. Along with that, we actually also changed the bit of how late nights will work now. Basically, we also made it so now I can do casual streaming and other stuff to give more variety instead of it's just always being multiplayer. Well, there will be always a multiplayer session, but I also want to do stuff like for myself that will never be considered as playthroughs and that for it. So it definitely expands more for the channel, I would say, and I think it's for the better. What else happened? Oh, and also we gotta also mention, back in May, we had the Birthday Bash 4, which was quite the best. I think that was, from all the Birthday Bash streams that have happened, this year's was definitely one to not forget, especially for everything that was played. It was definitely one of the best birthday streams I've had. It was definitely up there. It was really, really, really good. I don't think anything will top that. And last but not least, we also watched E3 while E3 was going on, and that was great too. We'll have to do that again next year, or next year for sure. Indeed. And oh yes, Battle Block Theater, I forgot about that for late nights. Yeah, we also have been doing Battle Block Theater, but that's something that needs to be defeated by me and Bell. We also did Castle Crasher, I forgot to mention that as well. And that was a fun playthrough as well. But anyways, guys, let's get things rolling here, shall we? I think we should get things rolling. We're about to announce our first. We're gonna go start doing our awards ceremony now. If you guys aren't aware, there were polls I made leading up to this show, and basically you guys got to vote once a day for all the polls for this show, which basically had votes for such awards such as the best new upcoming caster of the year, the best running gag of the year, the mod of the year, the playthrough of the year, the worst playthrough of the year, and as well the replay poll. Yes. Oh, and actually the Hall of Fame award as well. Basically, you guys were open this year to actually vote for any caster who still casts this day or doesn't cast anymore, and to be nominated. And yeah, those were all the awards that were up for grabs on that. And also, hello AJ, how's it going? But anywho, let's get the awards underway, shall we? I think we shall. So yes, here we go. We're gonna open up our first award for the night, and that is the Best New Upcoming Caster Award. And basically, this is an award that goes to very rookie casters, like newbie casters that have just started casting. Anyone that has under, I would say, 1,000 followers would be part of this. So I made sure everyone under this had minus 1,000, or not even 1,000 followers or whatnot. So as long as they don't have them at the point that this poll is made, then were considered to be part of this poll. So yeah. So anyways, the nominations for the best new upcoming caster are a guy named Joy, very awesome dude. You might see him most of the time in Crimson's channel, and sometimes at another person's channel, which is actually nominated here. Andy91, also known as British Andy. Yes, he is the one from the UK. He's also known as Andy. He was also known as Tall Guy at one point. But yeah, he does some casting here on Twitch, so he's also nominated. Bell Lover, who actually started casting late last year, so she is kind of a bit of a newbie caster. So she is nominated. As well, we have Blue Bab, also known as Val, who has recently started casting as well. I think earlier this year, actually, she started, so yeah. So she's nominated. We also have Evil Heel, awesome guy. You should definitely check him out as well. And last but not least, Lunar Fox, who's also you can see mostly at Crimson's channel. He's pretty cool, dude. You definitely should check him out as well. But keep in mind, this award is just a for fun award. Basically, don't take it too seriously if anything doesn't, if you don't win or whatnot. All these awards basically, except for maybe the playthrough of the year and all that stuff, you can take seriously. But all these ones don't really take too seriously because it's just all for good fun, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, so those are your nominations. But who will be winning? Well, the winner of this year's Best New Upcoming Caster is... Drumroll, please. Yeah. Bell Lover! Yes, indeed. Bell has won. Bell won the voting by 34.2%. Congratulations to Bell. As an award for her, make sure to go follow her if you have not. So make sure to follow her at twitch.tv/BellLover. So definitely do that. So congratulations, Bell. For winning this year's Best New Upcoming Caster of the Year. much deserved. And we'll take a look at the, as well. We also have, I would say, the runner-ups. So we'll take a look at the runner-ups here. Evil Heel came in second place with 31.7% of the voting. Tall Guy, aka British Andy, came in second with 20.8%. And then Bal came in third with 10%. So congratulations to Bell winning the first award of the night, which is the Best New Upcoming Caster of the Year award. Well done, well done. Well done. Alright. So yeah, make sure to go follow Bell. Make sure to follow everybody that was in there. They're all pretty awesome. Make sure to follow everybody. Yeah, do that. Not just Bell, but make sure to follow everybody there. Make sure to follow everybody as well, if you have not. That was in that poll. Alright, with that, we're gonna start with our second award of the night, and that is the Best Running Gag of the Year. Oh boy. Basically what this is basically, throughout the year, there's been like a couple funny jokes that have always been constant on the channel. And they are pretty frequent that have happened over the year. But, yeah, but only one could win it. So, what was your favorite running joke of the year? Maybe it wasn't even nominated for this year, but maybe I would ask you what was yours. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to vote down below, or put your suggestions down below if any of these, any of your suggestions weren't made it for this year's polls. But anyways, the nominations are the Skeleton Key from Mario Party 3, Nalgus the Cat, that's a good one, from Mario Kart Sundays, Taking All Your Money from Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver, the Air Horn, whenever I win like Mario Kart and whatnot, Toasty, like the Toasty Man, you know, him, the Victory video whenever I win a race, Time Outing G Mario. Yes, that is actually one, because that's a running gag. The Matrix Hacks, Don't Use Gun, from Zeppo. And also, My Gun! Even though that was more last year, but it was said frequently this year as well, so it's been nominated for it. But yeah, those are your nominations for this year's Best Running Gag, Best Running Gag Award of this year. And so only one of them can win. So, with that being said, the winner of the first ever Best Running Gag Award goes to... Drumroll, please. Time Outing G Mario! Yes, Time Outing G Mario has won the first ever Running Gag of the Year award. With 39.4% of the voting. So, everyone thought Time Outing G Mario was the funniest thing all year, and I can't disagree with that. Look at that. Look at that. So there you go. So G Mario kind of won an award, and for an award, yeah, there you go. He purged. He got purged. Oh, look at that. That's an award right there. That is funny. All right, so there you go. He got purged, and that's his trophy, I guess you can say. All right, but we'll go over the runner-ups for this poll. The Skeleton Key came in second place with 27.1% of the voting. The Air Horn came in second with 12.3%, and then Toasty came in third with 5.2%. Very nice. So there you go. There were the that was the first ever Best Running Gag Award. It was pretty awesome. Very awesome award. I'll have to continue doing this one. We have to just keep track of all the best running gags over the years. That's for sure. That's for sure. But enough of that for now. We'll come back to some more awards in just a second. But I want to do my first top 10 list. I have 2 of them. And basically, it's kind of like my Game of the Year list from over the past season here, casting here on Twitch TV. So I figured I might as well give that, or might as well throw that down. Now keep in mind, this top 10 list is a little different. The games that are on this list have to have come out on October 14th of last year to October 13th of this year. So anything that has come out since then is able to be on this list. Now I have to have played the game myself, either online or on the cast here, or just offline. So as long as I've played it, it can be nominated for this. So yeah, just keep that in mind as well while we basically go through this list. So yeah. So what were your favorite games for the past year? So anything from around there, what was your favorite games? Might as well just throw them out in the chat and whatnot. But real quick before I do this list, my goodness, we have 41 viewers in here. That is awesome. And Gmark keeps getting purged. That's funny. Alright, so anyway, we're going to start off our first game of this top 10 list. Number 10 goes to Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Aw, yeah, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which came out, I believe it was November/December of last year. And basically this was basically a game that was part of Super Mario 3D World. It was a little segment in the game, in Super Mario 3D World, where you take part as Toad, and basically, or Captain Toad I should say, and you look around looking for like stars and that. And I was like sitting there while I was playing Super Mario 3D World, and I was like, what if they actually made a game based off out of that? And sure enough, at E3 of 2014, they announced Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and honestly, this game's actually really, really, really good. This is actually a really cheap game you can find too, if you can find it. It's like, I think, $40 at most, and that's pretty good actually. Especially if you have 3D World, you can actually unlock more levels after you beat the actual game, which is pretty sweet, and they're pretty cool. I've actually showcased them on a leftover segment a couple weeks ago. Some hard levels, especially that last one. By God, that freaking level! But I finally actually beat it. But overall, this game it's more of the same of what the 3D World Captain Toad levels had to offer, but they were expanded a bit more on, and there was boss battles and everything. So it's a much more bigger game for him, I would say. And there's actually a great surprise if you actually beat the main game after the credits roll and that. So if you've never played this game, but if you played 3D World, you actually will be pretty happy. Or you might be like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. So yeah, there you go. Number 10 on the list, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Definitely fun game, and I recommend it for anyone who's got a Wii U. It's really fun. Coming in at number 9 is The Evil Within. Now, basically, this game, yes, it's a horror game. I know, you're probably like, what, a horror game is on this list? Well, yeah. The thing about this game is the guy who actually created Resident Evil and basically the entire gameplay of one of my favorite games was Resident Evil 4. It basically plays the exact same. Made this game, I would say. However, there's some negative things I have with this game. I mean, first of all, I'll talk about the positives. As for the positive, the gameplay is it's good. I actually like how it plays and all that. Some of it's more gory than it is scary, I would say. But there are some moments where it's pretty scary, especially when zombies come chasing after you and all that. Some of the boss battles are pretty intimidating. But yeah, everything like that is really good about the game. It's definitely really fun. I actually recommend this game, especially maybe on the next gen consoles, just because it looks better. However, there are some negatives when it comes to it. Number 1 is the letterboxing screens. It is a pain to look around all your surroundings because of it. It's like, basically, if you don't know what letterboxing is, it means like some of the screen is cut to make it like a cinematic feel. Kind of like if you're watching a movie in like in widescreen, it's kind of like that, and at times it's really annoying, especially to see what the heck's going on around you. Another thing is the story is it's very questionable, I would say. It's really hard to keep track on. I don't even know what the heck the plot is in The Evil Within. I tried following it. All I know is that some dude was just very evil, and he started making like zombies. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those games. It's like its plot is really weird and confusing. It's definitely one of those games you gotta pay close attention to in order to like get an idea what the plot is. Did they fix? I have no idea if they fixed it. Maybe they have, but when I was playing it, the letterboxing was a thing at the time, so who knows if they fixed it or not. If not, if they have, that's cool. That's actually a good plus. They should make it like a feature you can turn on and turn off, but still. But yeah, overall, those were like basically my two negative things I have of the game, was just the letterboxing and its confusing plot. But yeah, overall, it was still an enjoyable game regardless. And yeah, you should definitely check this one out. If you are a fan of Resident Evil 4, you'll like this one for sure, hands down. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about The Evil Within. Coming in at number 8 is NHL 16. Yes, I know, I gotta get this one out of the way. That's because, yeah, I have a big relationship when it comes to this franchise. I know a lot of people, you don't care about them sports games, but this is a sports game I play like every year. Unfortunately, last year, let me tell you something. You wanna know how bad EA is? They basically took the game and made it look like amazing. It looked great. The presentation wise was nice, but unfortunately, when it comes to video games are not meant to be looked at. They're meant to be played, and unfortunately, they failed on that aspect. They basically took out modes that were in previous gens in NHL 15, and they were basically patched in like a couple weeks after the release of the game. But even still, the game itself, like its AI was atrocious. There was barely really any much fun when it came to offline modes, especially. And then for its online modes, it was just HUT and 1v1s. But to be fair, you kind of need modes that were that everybody could play. Like a lot of people were in the game. And this year, I can thankfully say they have gone back to the roots and have brought back all the modes that were taken out. But yeah, it's definitely a big improvement. There are still some issues, like the AI can be kind of dumb. There are some glitches I've seen that have happened when it comes to the actual puck and all that. Like sometimes you could just throw the puck through the net, even though it's not legit where the goalie's standing at the side of the net. It'll just go in sometimes. It's really weird. But I will say it is a step up when it came to last year, so I'm actually impressed that they actually listened to the fans this time with this game and actually gave us what we wanted. So that's really all I have to say. It's just a fast little thing I did talk about. But again, there's still some work to be improved with this series. But yeah, that's all I have to say. For NHL, it was definitely a good game. It's a step in the right direction, but there's still some work that could be done when it comes to this. Anyways, that was the only sports game that was on this list, so yeah. I've seen players jump insanely high in that game. Yeah, exactly. There's just, it's weird at times. There's some, like I said, there still needs to be some fixing when it comes to that game for future installments. Coming up at number 7 was Far Cry 4. Now, not much can really be said about this one. If you played Far Cry 3, it's more of the same. And sometimes more of the same is usually an okay thing, but there are some new things that you can do in this game compared to the third one. Overall, I think the story in this game was not as good compared to the third one, but still the gameplay itself, that's all that really matters, really. As long as the gameplay is great, I really don't really care as much. If you like FPSs and whatnot, and if you like Skyrim like that, these games are basically the open world FPS game, basically. You can do basically everything. You can hunt animals, you can basically hunt actual people and assassinate them and whatnot. There's a lot you can do in this game. And there's some crafting and all that stuff. You can also battle in an arena, which is pretty cool. It's actually part of the story in one of the missions, which was really fun. Another thing that's really cool about this game was just the environment of it too. I kind of like this place, the place Karat, I think it was called, more than what the main place was in Far Cry 3, but the story is still better in 3 than compared to 4. I think the soundtrack as well is better in 3 than 4's, but it's still some decent stuff. So Skyrim with even more crack. Yes, also there's a lot of drug references, that's another thing too, but yeah. But overall, this is actually a pretty decent title. Wasn't the best from last year, but when it came to like next gen, like PS4, Xbox One, in my opinion, besides like maybe Dragon Age, but I had never played that, this was definitely up there in my opinion, because a lot of games on those consoles last year were buggy and bad, but this was one of those games that actually were polished and were actually good. And this is actually the one I only got to play that was actually really decent at times. But yeah, there you go. Number 7 was Far Cry 4. Now, coming in at number 6, may shock a lot of people, but number 6 is Splatoon. Yes, the brand new IP from Nintendo, basically bringing their own little fun when it comes to the shooting games. Now, this game's a little different when it comes to a lot of shooters. Splatoon basically is a paintball game where you play as kids who are also squids, and basically you shoot other squids that are kids. And there's some good modes in this game, like the one mode where you have to like basically fill up the map with your colored ink. There's also the one where it's basically like capture the flag, almost like. There's also, what was it, like that little base that floats around and whatnot, and you gotta get your team's color all over it. And I can't remember what's the other mode. What is that other mode that's in the game? I know there's another one, but I just can't think of it at the top of my head. Is the music song? Is the song dying? Here, I'll restart the song. Okay. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, but yeah, most of the core gameplay is great. Like it's easy to move around and all that jazz. Aiming feels responsive, either if you use the motion controls on the touchpad. If you don't use it either, it's also good to use. However, the reason why this game is low on my list is because I do have some issues with this game, which I would really like to address. Now, you don't all have to agree with me when it comes to this, but this is just me nitpicking about this game. But I hope they can fix when it comes to future installments if they ever do a second game in Splatoon. But I think they will. I bet you, I guarantee they'll